with this. I understand that it's all about communication first. And I'm going to try to incite some sort of reaction out of Ranger. And hopefully he'll give you a good reaction, but I expect from him. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Ranger to do his principle I thought in invented, but I coined the phrase, 1 foot, 1 inch. If you just remember this principle, it'll help you with your partners. 1 foot, 1 inch means I want my partner to move any 1 inch feet is 1 inch forward. I don't care which foot. Just as long as he moves 1 inch forward. And that's kind of the big thing. So as I look, I'm hoping that he gets a reaction. Now he's going to come over here and he's going to snort it. I will allow him to sniff it, snort it, lick it, chew it, pick it up, stomp on it, paw it, pee and poop on it. He can do whatever he wants to do in the world with it. One thing he cannot do is cross it. I do not want him to cross it. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to sit on here and see if I can get a reaction out of him. And what we're looking for, okay, and what I'm looking for is some sort of reaction so we understand, okay, there we go, now it works. Alright, so I've got it now, he understands the card where we want to be. So I want to bring him over here. And understand that when he goes to go across, Eric Park will go across and do one of 4 things. One, they will try to jump it, and that's why I use a big target. A lot of clinicians, and they're great, a lot of clinicians will put a target, they'll line it up in a round pen, and they'll make the horse round pen around toward the target. What happens? The horse sort of scoots away from the target, and then the clinician will turn the horse around, take it back to the target, eventually get the horse to turn at the target and stopping the target. Then the horse becomes familiar with the target, curious, and then next thing you know they're on it, they cross it, it's all good. Is that a viable trend technique? Absolutely. Does it work? Absolutely. Is it the best for a horse? Absolutely not. And let me explain why from my philosophy. In the horse herd, in the wild, the alpha or beta horse will never have the convenience of the human, not for the horse. And so what we start to do is I just treat the target as what it is. It is a target. It is also a mud puddle. It's a creek. It's a trailer ramp. It's their catalytic poles. It's anything and everything you ever want to do because it's not about the target. It's about the principles and the concepts of communicating with your partner. So we've been kind of walking around here and understand that when he goes to go across, there's 4 things that he will do. 1, he will try to jump it. So that's why I use a large target. 2, he will hot-foot it across. He's just, I got to get across this thing. 3, he'll go across it walking, but you can tell in his body he's just real stiff and nervous. And what will happen is he'll cross, and as soon as his front feet are off, he'll turn his hindquarters to face the blue target. When he does, his foot will pull the target and drag it toward him. Now the blue thing's coming up behind him trying to keep it back. We cannot train nor teach a horse to do anything. Horses, from the moment that they're dropped on the ground by their mama, are born with lightness, beauty, grace, suppleness. They can already walk, stop, back, spin, roll back, jump. They can laterally flex, vertically flex. They can peel out, they can side pass. They can do all those things and never lay eyes on them. What we do is we put them in a round pen, or we use traditional techniques at age 2, and we just suck that right out of them. And then we spend the next 5 years using tie downs and everything else trying to put that back in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with what we already have. So I'm going to come here and I ask you to go again. We're going to look. And I just want a good reaction. There we go. A good reaction out of it and see what we can do. Now everyone knows that the 2 biggest predators known to mankind for a horse, the 2 biggest predators a horse knows in his head are the big blue plastic card and the Walmart sack. Bears and lions, a big blue card and a Walmart sack. Everybody knows in prehistoric times, in Cambridge times, the Walmart sack is to hide in bushes and roll across, like a pack of monkeys hiding in the bushes and then they would attack the horse from behind. The big blue cards would hide in the watering hole, they come to the target and eat them. That's why he does whatever he's going to do. A nanosecond before he did it in the physical, mentally, emotionally, he made that decision. If the horse goes across it calm and collected, it just doesn't, he's done it 1,000 times, a nanosecond before he did that, mentally, emotionally, he made the decision. If we continue to work physically with a partner, we will only work at a physical capacity with our partner. If we work at a mental and emotional capacity with our partners, we will exceed, we'll go way beyond that. So let's bring him up. I'm actually spending more time talking to you, but Ranger and I are working. So we're going to sit here, we're going to learn together
And I'm going to let him stand here, and I'm going to make noise, and I just want him to move any one of his foot, his left front foot, he'll be fine, forward. And when he does, he releases himself. This is important because we all know that the release is what means yes. When we're working with children sometimes, or when we're new to horses, our timing is not right. This kind of principle of allowing him to just move 1 foot, 1 inch forward allows him to release himself. When he does that, I can be talking to you and miss that window of opportunity, and he took care of it for me. So I'm going to ask him to take another step forward. Here we go. And I'm going to let him do whatever he wants. This is all I want you to do with your partner. I really do. And you go, well, my horse can cross the cart. That's okay. It's good that he can't. I want you to go home and start all over. Okay? Break it complete. 1. Okay? And this is all we're going to do. I'm going to let him do whatever he wants to do, but he is not allowed to cross his cart. When we go, I want him to go as if he's gone 1,000 times. Now, I know that the biggest teaching is that you're looking for a horse to be late. That's a great sign, but it's not the end-all sign. What we're looking for is for Ray to be comfortable enough that he drops his head just a quarter to a half inch, and that his eyes have a slow, almost sleepy, kind of droopy sort of blink to it. If they're blinking, they're thinking. If the tail gets off, mentally, emotionally, then they're coming. And that's the point that we're looking at with them. Now, there's 2 pieces of warning that I have to give you, and I really want you to listen to this when you're doing this at home. Number 1, I'm going to take him and turn him in a second, now that we're up against the cart, and to give him a rest. But before I do, here's a piece of warning. Back your horse up, whether you do it by hand, or if you do Clinton's Outback game, or Pirelli's Yo-Yo, or whatever method, Leslie does it, whatever your method is, back him up. But you want to back him up, and get him away from the cart, and then turn your horse. And the reason is this: if you turn him at the cart, when his front end comes around, his back end is going to spin around, he's going to touch the cart, he's going to bolt forward, and he's going to run you over. So be forewarned, you really want to back your partner up. That's the first bit of warning. The other is, when they go to cross, don't try to lead and pull your horse across if they're not ready. Because if your horse follows the field, you're doing this kind of thing, I can't do this. Follow up. But I'm doing this, if he decides to jump it, he's going to end up in my front pocket. He's going to follow that feel of the lead rope, and he's going to end up right here, and I don't need 1,000 pounds to jump into my front pocket. So those are the 2 bits of advice that you never want to do. Okay, Ranger, let's get to work here a bit. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to ask him to step back up, and I'll let his front feet come across. Now, I checked him. I don't, he's ready to go. I really don't want him to go in. Because somewhere about the middle of this, his foot's going to drag the cart, and it's going to pull behind him and he's going to go ballistic. And I don't want that yet. Look, he's not really ready. So now I'm going to back him up. All right, so now we're going to go again. And all he has to do is move 1 foot, 1 inch forward. When you come, good boy. To come. Now you know I'm not purposely looking at him, and there's a reason for this. Lead horses don't go to the creek, just cross the creek and go, come on, let's go. Let's do this. They go. You follow where you go. So I don't stand here and face my partner. As soon as I did, you see how he turned his head? Because I blocked him. I just changed my body language, and I physically blocked him. I'm not charging him. I'm not throwing him backwards. I want him to come forward. A leader's not going to back up and go, come on, Ranger, we're going to go this way. So I'm going to ask Ranger to back up just a little bit. We're going to get on the cart in just a minute. We're going to play a little ankle dance or something. Good boy. All right. So we're going to come back across the cart. We're going to come here, and I'm going to ask him to step on. Good boy. He's still not sure. His body kind of pulls back. Just as the lady leans back just a little bit. One, he's not mentally and emotionally ready. He's not far off. I'm really kind of blessed that he's not panicked. We're hoping he can go ballistic and be like a cat hanging from the rafters. But we're okay. So I'm going to back him up just a little bit again. Exactly. That's the line. We're going to wait. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go, and I'll let him come across, and he's almost there. He doesn't have the slope landing yet. His head hasn't dropped yet, but he's almost pretty close. So I'm going to wait a minute. I'm going to back him up a little bit now. Come over here. We're going to lift this one more time. Okay. Break it up. Not that way. That way. Break it up. 1 foot, 1 inch. Come on. Go to target. Take a step forward. Step on the target. Okay, there you go. Good boy. That's right. And all we're waiting for is for Ranger to understand that it's okay to be on the cart. When in fact you get on the cart, the game can change mentally, emotionally. And it doesn't matter. Somewhere, somebody out there in the bleachers right now is saying, yeah, but I have a 3-legged Arabian that does a 5-gated feet on an off feet, and his mother was scared of plastic bags, and you know what? Don't care. That's your issue, not your horse's. Okay? It doesn't matter if you have a stallion, if you have a mare, if you have a mule. In fact, if you have an old horse, a young horse, it doesn't make a difference. I don't care if their grandmama was papered or not. It doesn't make a difference. It's your issue, not your horse's. And so, when you look at that, you have to understand that this is all about you, and just understand it's just a different way of communicating. So I'm going to ask him to come a little deeper into the cart. We're going to hold. Again, I don't want him to cross it. Now, his owner told me that when he's on the trail, he just brush your arm, have a jacket that's vinyl, and he goes, okay? And so we look at plastic bag. I brought a couple of sticks with the plastic bag. I'm just going to see what we can get out of it. But here we are. So now I think he's pretty close to Rick. And again, I'll tell you that he will either cross this part, try to jump it. He'll try to hot foot it across. He will walk it slowly, but when his front legs get on the other side, he's going to spin his hind quarters, and in which case he'll probably drag the cart a little bit. Back. And all I'm looking for is for Ranger to understand, I'm going to hold my lead rope out here, and Ranger to understand that when we cross it, it's all about mental and emotional. Remember I told you that horses are an algebraic formula. It's mental plus emotional times the spirit of the horse, which gives you physical. And that's what gets us over. But we cannot train horses. And if we do it right, we'll communicate with our horses, and our horses will do things, cross things as if they've done it 1,000 times. And again, I don't care that you have a 5-legged Arabian that can do a back. Okay, this is all in your wish. Those kind of things, you can use the cards the same way. And all this is I'm just mentally and emotionally checking in with Ranger, or my horse Desi, just making sure, hey, we come the same way. Now, will I still do my line, my groundwork online, and do some things with him? And, can I sit here and do some things to make sure that we're kind of all together? Sure. I would do it. So you go home and you have your partner, and you go across and things work out fine. The next day, or whenever you're with him, do it again. I wouldn't push it so much the same day. We don't need to break this up and do 3 or 5 sessions a day the first day. No. But I would do it more so for you more than your partner. They already got it. So just be consistent in what you do, and it's just a way just to kind of tune up the golf cart, break it completely. So I'm going to do a little bit different. I'm going to get him on here, and I'm going to sort of halfway purposely try to ruin this, but I have faith in him. So we're gonna come up here, bring something. We're just going to take this up a little bit. See, now we're at step 2, part 2 here. And it's okay. Oh, that's a pretty side pass. That is. That's a pretty side pass. But it's okay. And I'll let him do what he wants to do with it. Now, his mama, Jan, says that you can't touch plastic, touch your coat. You can't touch your slicker with him when you're on him. Now, is he super relaxed? Not yet, but he's pretty close. He's pretty close. Look, he's looking over there. The little kid's over there. Sure like the little kids come over here and get a sugar cube. Look, nothing really. I'm going to have him turn towards you a little bit. There we go. And what you're going to do, what we can do here, the big plastic horse eating cart, just about to swallow this horse. Look, she's laughing because she told me story. She brushed her sleeve on her jacket and he goes crazy, and there's no need for it. We don't need to flood our horses. There's a time that's a good thing. You know, if we need to flood it for something because it's almost an emergency. We need to push this issue right now because we have to get to something, get out of somewhere, do something, but not as an everyday thing. And all I want you to do is, you may not go home and change, and that's okay. But I just want you, on the drive home, or while you're just laying in bed tonight, the last thing you think of were, I really don't need to round it. It's not about my horse, it's about me. And I just want you to invest, it's still early in the season. We invest some time in ourselves now, raising our level of horsemanship. By the time full season, it's pretty fall time, and we all want to ride, we'll be in a much better place with our partners. So we have Ranger here who's ballistically scared, and will drop on the ground and go into a fetal position at any bit of plastic. And he hasn't done it yet. And I have not put him on one single lap nitrogen on my line. Okay, question. Visually, it messes with their eyes. You get this running creek, and it's not just a little ripple, but it's a running creek. It's just unsettling. So I get to the creek, and we do the same thing. Ranger, I want you to move 1 foot, 1 inch forward. And when he does, I'm going to rub his neck and we're going to relax. And then I'm going to say, move another foot. And if I have to, if it's one of those things that the horse that we're with or that we're on is just crazy ballistic in the head, I'll get off and leave my horse. All right, let's see what we got. So he had a moment, mental express. I'm going to give him a nice rub down. We can work. Oh, that's that belly where they get you hanging you alive. Yeah. Let's see. Let's touch your legs. Kind of wrap you. And see, I can still maybe get a reaction out of him, but nothing yet. Jan, are we okay with this so far? We just painted another horse to look like your horse. We're going to pick this up. I'm going to let you smell it. But the more concerned about the golf cart than he is about the steering of the car and bringing it up. Don't worry about it. Here we go. Get a little reaction. Now, I want to explain something. I'm going to do it with a flag stick here in just a second. With the flag. But I want to show you here in just a second. That I keep going kind of the same pattern over and over again as I'm working this with Ranger. And as I do this, there's a reason why. I want to be, going back to how many times would I do this with my partner, I want to be absolutely consistent when I first do it. Today, a week from now, a year from now, when I do this, I'm going to be consistent. That will create the trust that will lead to the respect that I need from my partner. And so, as we look, good morning, as we work, I always allow him to kind of the same thing. Now here we might get a big explosion out of it. Let's see what we can get. The target is actually coming at it, and his feet coming out of his feet. And yet, Ranger's like, it's all good. Ranger, come please. As if he's done it 1,000 times. Deathly afraid of plastic. So we took care of the first big predator horses. So let's use the second predator. Now, for all you who like to buy tack, and I have tack, I have an original carrot stick from like a bajillion years ago, and I have a handy stick, and I have all the different colors. And they go by different names. I'll never use a carrot stick, that's why I got a handy stick. Really? Yeah, I don't use the orange one, I got the purple one. They're known by apple stick, swagger stick, handy stick, horseman's training wand, carrot stick, that's the same thing.
Don't get caught up in that. And you know what? For 37 cents, you can get a dowel rod and a piece of tape. It's the same thing. Now, I'm not telling you not to buy tags for people in there who just got mad. I'm not telling you that. It's okay. But don't get caught up in all the, oh, I'm not going to use the thing. Okay? So here we are. So this is the other thread. Remember, this one goes in bunches in the attack. So we're going to do the same thing. Does he sack out? Or is he the same thing? It's plastic, isn't it? That's all I'm going to do. Every time I do this with Ranger, I'm going to let him smell it. Touch his neck. I'll go down the front leg, back up, and then I'll go across his back. I'll go across his back. Here's the scary part. We're going to go down his back leg, up, right there, and we're good. And I'm going to wait. And we're going to go back. Smell it. Touch it. Boom. Plastic bag on the ears. That's me. Here we go. The ears. And we're going to go down his leg, across his back, down, back up, right there. We're going to come here. Now, when I go to switch sides, let me turn. Ranger, come please. We're going to smell it. Oh, look, it's different. We're going to touch his neck. That's it. You see him blink slow? If they're blinking, they're thinking. If they're blinking, they're thinking. If they're licking, just keep on taking. Okay? Head goes up, you need to stop. Check yourself. So we're going to smell it. Touch the neck. Go down. Come back. We're going to go down, right in the area. That wasn't a whistle for you to move. I'm sorry. So we're going to go back through, touch the back leg on the other side from here, right there, plastic sack. And now we're going to do the thing that makes them just want to crawl and die. That's this. We're going to helicopter our plastic sack. Questions, comments, gripes, opinions? Anyone not? It's not. I know it sounds cheesy, but I truly mean it. Believe in your horse, and the horse will make a believer out of you. So I'm looking all the time. Good. So I just want you to come on the tarp van, but don't let him cross because he will, because it's like old hat now. Steve, I swear to God. It's okay. We can do stuff. All right. So go ahead and walk on the tarp. Let him come up and let him. Because now it's even though it's a tarp, it's you, and he's gonna start and he's gonna look. Now just look straight at him. Just there you go. Breathe. She doesn't know where this horse came from. She thinks we did a switch out while she was walking. Now the real Ranger is in a fetal position, some other stall somewhere, laying under plastic. Okay, that's okay. You know what? That's more about you flapping and flapping plastic. It really is. Yeah, it's okay. We'll just assume this is day one, square one. When you go home with your horse or mule, you go home with your partner, assume this. I don't care that your horse is a 20-year-old quarter horse, been to 4-H for the last 15 years of his 20 years of life, and he's the most perfect horse in the world. I want you to start from ground zero. As if this is a 3-year-old horse that just got to your property, and you're going to start this horse from scratch. And it's going to be under saddle, and you're going to work it. And that's how I want you to start. The reason being, here's the other time that I use the word training. I told you I don't like to use the word training. Keep walking. I don't like to use the word training. Here's the other time that I use it. If he has a hole in his training, we want to find it. So we don't want to skip over those things. Oh, he knows how to put the saddle on, and his owner used to ride it. No, you need to start working from the ground up. And let's see, does he have a hole where he doesn't stand still for mounting, where he bucks when you cinch him up? Or let's find that hole. So I want you to start from scratch. Don't do anything for granted. You'll fill in the gaps of his experience. But if you find the hole, stop. Go, aha. Write that down and work on that problem. So we're going to come across. In fact, I'm going to go that way, but you go this way. And we're looking. And now, I want you to turn him around, rub his neck. And I know the others went long, so we should go long, but I'm not going to go long. I want you to come up on the tarp, and I want you to go to a corner. I want you to pick up the corner, and I want you to let him smell it, touch the left side of his neck, just give him a little bat with the tarp. He just looked at me like, no, I'm serious. It's okay. Now remember, right now it's not about the tarp, it's about how you're handling the tarp. So he may go, look, it's okay, rub it on him. Let him smell it, rub his neck. And if for some reason he should, God forbid, go ballistic, just let the lead rope go and just let him go. He's not going here or Pirelli or something. Okay, it's open. Never once make one, not even a half circle. Online, we didn't do any endless, mind-numbing round penning. Round penning took that whole philosophy, the whole herd dynamic and psychology of, the horse does something wrong, so we're going to run him out until he gives us the respect. He's not allowed back into the herd and have communication with us. Is that how it's done in the wild? Yes, but it's built on correction. You just went, got your horse, you pulled up, your horse came running over to you, and he lowered his head and you put the halter on, and then you opened the gate, you stood respectfully, and then you went through the gate, your partner came through, and then you closed the gate, you walked, you tied, you stood tight, you groomed, and you sat, and then you took more to the round pen and said, you were bad, get out of here, go do laps. Now, does that work on the psychology of the herd dynamic? No. No, it's twisted. And we did that because humans are egocentric. And we found a way that accelerates the result that we want. It is convenient for the human, not for the horse. Okay? So here she is on the horse, and she swears, even to just a minute ago, she was walking in, she's going, that he's scared of plastic, and yet all we've done is he's listening, his head's a little high, but mama's doing it, not me. And he's just listening. So as we close this out, I'm going to finish this. Questions, comments, corrections. Anyone want to yell here or call me names? I know the people way out there, but it's okay. Anyone think I'm full of green running hot horse biscuits? My name is Michael Gonzalez. I'm the founder of Lessons for Horsemanship, and that means absolutely nothing in the biggest picture of things. It really is. But here's the thing. I'm not here to sell you anything. I don't have any programs or DVDs or tags or anything on my website. I don't have a booth here. The only thing I've brought with me today are business cards, and they're on the Indiana table with the rest of the great Indiana clinicians that are here. I'm here just to change the way people think about things, because that's my passion. Again, I have a job.
You're okay. You're all right.
If you have an issue with your horse has an issue with you, and I want to help you with whatever your problem is, your horse would like to do. Okay? Thank you so very much. At 5 o'clock, I've got a big field Phoebe that we're going to bring in here. I have no idea where she is. She's a good trail, right? We don't know how she does with plastic, but one of the things that we're going to help you learn together with your partner is how to pick up off of a picnic table. And we're going to talk about mounting blocks. I use a picnic table, and you'll understand why later. But we use mounting blocks. So many times we fight